So, we're going to be able to recruit some dwarves soon. I don't see any reason not to get some armor produced in the meantime. Now, do I have... I'm pretty sure I have a legendary blacksmith. Skills, legendary blacksmith, fantastic. Do I have any armor smiths? Or people who are still armor smiths after all this time? I feel like I do, I just need to find them in amongst everything else. In any case, what is that gentleman's name? Onul. Okay, Onul gets the leadership position at that one. If we can find him. Since most things, he's going to be the one building the good stuff. And here you can see we've got dabbling weaponsmiths, blacksmiths. Okay, here we are, Onul. Okay, Onul, the legendary blacksmith. Onul will do tasks everywhere. And is there a way to prevent anyone else using it? I feel like that will do. Okay, so in terms of armor, I could give everyone a full set of steel armor to start with. I've already gotten 2 steel battle axes prepared. So I think just to start with armor, we're going to go steel. And to begin with, we're just going to forge some mail shirts. So steel, mail shirt. So we're going to get 2 recruits at the start. 2 recruits is good because they can spar together, which is great. I will scale it up to 3. So I think they're going to need 2 mail shirts. So in Dwarf Fortress, there's the full layering system. They're going to wear their clothing, and then they're going to wear outer layers, and then they're going to wear hard armor layers. So the mail shirt fits underneath the steel breastplates that we can eventually set. And steel breastplates are incredibly protective. We'll also need footwear, helmets, and arm protection. So let me see what I can do with the steel that I have available. Okay, so I've got Onal here coming down here. He is going to now create, in order, some steel mail shirts, some high boots, some greaves. So that should cover the full legging, the torso, the arms, all that with the mail shirt, the boots and the greaves. If we've got enough steel, he'll do gauntlets. That should then leave a helmet and eventually a breastplate. But I'm not sure the weight will allow breastplate straight away. I'm also hoping that he manages to forge stuff of significant quality, since, you know, he is a legendary blacksmith and all that. Armor quality makes all the difference in the world. So, oh, and the Magma smelter is doing pig iron, which means we should get more steel production going soon. Now, even Mr. Talented Onal here is going to take a while to forge any given particular piece of armor. Oh, we have a mayor now. Okay, I think we already had a mayor, but he now needs a whole bunch... Oh, everyone needs additional stuff. Our fortress is big enough that everyone now wants stuff. And I have a feeling none of their rooms are good enough. Well, shit. Okay, so the manager, the broker, and this. Okay, so they're all the same person. Udrum has all the jobs. So what we really need to do is jazz up Udrum's room. Wait. Udrum... Yeah, okay. Udrum has been our leader since the start. Okay, so what is he really complaining about here? He needs a modest study, a modest dining room. He needs a weapon rack and an armor stand, and he needs better quality stuff. Well, we can install this furniture, because I'm pretty sure I have a weapon rack and an armor stand ready to go. No, I do not have a weapon rack, and I thought I had those ready to go. I have an armor stand. What I'll need to do here is get... push a weapon rack there, make it high priority, so he can get one of those. I'll get people in to engrave his room. Let's start with the walls. And then we'll engrave the rest of it if we need to. Just, this is one way to make things fancier. I've only got a very few people set to engraving. What's the war dog fighting? Badger. That's fine. I don't mind if the war dogs occasionally fight with the badgers. The elves are about to leave, and when they leave, they should ask me to limit the number of trees I cut down. So if I then say no, stuff you, that will be the beginning of our diplomatic progression. Let's collect some of these plants so more things can grow in their place. I might even expand this further, because it's just useful. The random cave plants, we can eventually farm it. We can move pasture inside if we need to. I might do it by like digging out this area here, just more sand area, no harm done. I've built a little barracks here for when the military squad goes in. Bedrooms are coming online, so all progress is pretty solid, I reckon. Okay, Carpenter's Workshop should have finished that armor rack and weapon rack, so that's the armor stand. Military weapon rack. There you go, you can have an apple weapon rack. Should make you feel good about life. Utherum has apparently... Okay, good, so he is creating high quality stuff. Superior quality steel boot. Well-crafted steel high boot. So he's forging some good stuff, Utherum. Where is our weapon? I thought this was our weapon and armor stockpile. Apparently it is. I am not sure where our weapons and armor have gone. Armor, steel mail shirt. Oh, okay. I really was hoping he made... Because the steel shirt's like the most important part of the armor we're forging. He's made one normal one and one well-crafted one. That's okay. We can always get better as time goes on. Keep working. Steel high boots, steel greaves, steel gauntlets. Make it happen. Unfortunately, it looks like our feed-in stockpile here is mostly full of tetrahedrite, which I didn't want. I don't want tetrahedrite there. In fact, dump it, because it's causing the people running the smelter to have to go and get iron ores. Tetrahedrite is there for... Well, we'll talk about tetrahedrite later. Geez, I don't know whether I want to set up this glass or whether a second smelter for additional production is the go. That's a really hard choice, because I only have enough magma left to do one more facility, and it's either going to be glass making, or it's a second smelter, with the second smelter making like silver or brass or other ornamental metals that we can use for other purposes. Because at the moment this is just producing the steel to keep our magma forge running, basically. Interesting question. Okay, well, in any case, we should get ready for the next forge anyway. So we want that to go there. Open space there. I don't think we want an open space. I think what we want to dig is dig a channel down here. There we are, and then we'll flow the track around. So if we go construct, I know you can carve them into the ground, but I don't know that works with track stops. I've had difficulty with carving and so I bring the track around, construct to there with a track stop just before. Let's build that all out of siltstone, and once that's constructed, we'll put a track stop there. That should dump it there. Life is good. And right now I feel like I can also deconstruct that rail, because we don't need that anymore. That is now no longer necessary. Okay, blacksmith couldn't forge the gauntlets because we didn't have enough steel. I feel like we should have enough in order to make more steel at this point. If I look at bars, I have 140 iron bars. I have 8, okay, I only have 8 pig iron bars. That should still allow me to make a small amount of additional steel. Which should allow us to then complete the armor construction process. So let's just manually bump a bunch of steel up. It is this insatiable demand for metal, now that we can produce it without needing to introduce fuel, that makes me wonder whether or not glass is the right move or whether or not a second smelter is called for, so we can run a double program. Okay. This guild hall's up to 1,000. It needs to be 2,000. So the engravings aren't going to be enough by themselves. Let's just introduce... What we can do is introduce some tables. Introduce some chairs. Just anything to get the value up, really. Maybe some statues. Like our option... we got good options. These temples, geez, okay. There's a lot of people that want to hang in these temples. I kind of feel like I need to expand them more because people are piling into those dedicated temples. Maybe I do need a full pantheon. Okay, track created, construction, track stop, dump, friction, there, make it out of siltstone. And if I then add new route, add a stop there, add a minecart, and pull. So there should only be 2 magma minecarts left. Let's bring one of them down from below. That should do the job. I'm not sure if there are expert smelters. I need to check that. It feels like something where there should be a rule for it, in which case I should task a dedicated smelter to speed up smelting at this facility here. But there we are, steel bars, armor, steel, gauntlet, armor, steel, gauntlet. Because if I look at my armor, I've got 2 steel mail shirts. Is that all I managed to produce? Maybe they're really hungry in terms of steel bars, I don't know. But we produced 2 steel mail shirts. Yeah, because all these other items were equipped on people. Alright, well, steel gauntlets it is. And steel... Let's do the high boots. I didn't realize just how steel intensive all this armor making was going to be. But you know what? It makes sense. It should be a significant industrial exercise, just as it was historically, to outfit even a few individuals with full steel plate, which is basically what we're trying to do. Now, hopefully the engraving will make Mr. Noble McNobleman happier with his workplace. Looks like we have an iron minecart in position. So what we need to do now is go to the stop. Have it kick off to the north in 0 days. Okay, I've realized armor is actually spread over several categories, but I have finished my steel helmets, I've finished my gauntlets, my greaves, my large boots, everything except for steel breastplates, only because I want to reduce the weight for a moment. And what I've got here is a level 4 pit of magma, which means I have finished the work of my carts. That's the last magma supply that I had. The only question here is, do I add another smelter in order to speed production? Or do I introduce glass making into the fortress? I kind of think introducing glass making might be a nice soak for a whole bunch of the spare labor that I'm accumulating. Like at the moment, I have enough labor to do everything. I can specialize some of my workshops, but really what I need is more industries, because at the moment my dwarves are spending their time socializing, smoothing, worshipping, fishing, things that aren't necessarily super high value. So I really need to be more disciplined about getting the miners out, doing exploratory mining, and doing things like finding gems and ores. More iron-bearing material is always good, for example. So dig out that vein as far as it goes. Do some exploration down here. So I'll get the miners busy doing mining things. A glass workshop would get a sand collector and a glass blower working full time. So maybe that's what we do, and then we can set up a craft workshop that feeds from it that only uses the green glass that is produced, and we can start producing furniture, crafts. We can do floors out of glass. It's only going to be green glass. It's not going to be clear or crystalline glass because I'm not going to introduce the extra steps yet. But green glass to start with sounds like a good idea. I believe I can always deconstruct this later on and still have the magma. So let's construct this out of dolomite, as we always do, because that is magma safe. I think I just built that one square too high, so the walkway is actually going to be between the two, but that's okay. And we will deconstruct that and the track stop. All right, fantastic. So then we can get a let's add green glass. And I believe the collect sand mission, I'll look this up in between episodes or maybe even between cuts. The collect sand should be compatible with like making glass. And we should have enough empty sand bags, because every time we put the sand in, we empty the bag, I believe, which means the bag can be reused. People will then collect the sand, come over, and make raw green glass. I just need to check whether you need to make the raw glass first, then the goods, or whether you just make the goods directly. Why is someone bleeding? Bruising the muscle. Great, he got hit by a minecart. He got hit by a minecart. Well, let's just get rid of that. Obok, how badly are you injured? Obok. Let's go by name. I don't have... Oh, great, it's a kid. Alright, so it says no major health problems. Winded, ability, no evaluated wounds, diagnosis required. Okay, so he got hit by a minecart while we were knocking all this stuff down. We managed to hit one of our dwarves with a minecart. You know, OH&S around here kind of shit. We'll need to set up a medical facility so our diagnostician can have a look, which means we need to bring some water in. There's some stuff we need to do now. That's annoying. I've gotten by without a medical center for a while. Would have liked to continue doing so, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. I've also made some statues, which I can hopefully install in people's rooms, in particular Mr. Nobleman. Like, we'll put a siltstone statue in his room. If we can get some of these rooms up to scratch. I mean, the other thing I could do is I could install the artifact bed in his room. That would definitely do the job. Maybe we do that. I mean, it's going to increase my fortress value significantly, but I think that's okay. I won't do it immediately. These are all our backup bedrooms that we're going to get online. Fantastic. And I might have to look up how to set the work orders up for the green glass too, to make sure we get the best, make sure we're making the best advantage of this, because this thing should now be running basically full time. As for the Magma Forge, it runs whenever there are steel bars available, basically. We can get rid of that track stop as well. So yeah, here we are, a little magma powered center. We have our little magma drops. We draw the thermal energy from up there. Magma never runs out of thermal energy, and apparently the dwarves are able to get enough temperature out. It's dwarf physics, okay? It all works, and we can now basically run these with minimal need for fuel inputs. Magic. Well, not magic. Part magic, part physics. I don't think you'd actually get magma hot enough. It couldn't be, right? You couldn't use magma to melt everything and work it, but apparently the dwarves make it work. So, whatever. Let's go find out how to, unhurt this person. So, in order, someone has gone into a strange mood. We have glass production. I'm digging a stairwell that will lead up to this section here. I've designated this as a sand collection zone, so people will come get the sand from the sand level, go down the staircase, carry it to the forge, and continue. My nobleman, Udrum, now has a nice bedroom, but he wants us to make ballista parts, despite the fact that I have no interest in building any ballistas. So I've built a giant siege workshop, and I think I need to build ballista parts at this point. Make ballista parts. Make ballista parts. For reasons that basically amount to because the mayor said so. This is the thing about nobles. They're bastards. They require you to do stuff. They're demanding in terms of what you give them. I'm enlarging some of his rooms now to give him more of what he wants so that he doesn't get annoyed, because if he gets annoyed, he makes life difficult for everyone else. Our cheesemaker is the only one that's actually sad, though. Why are you so sad? I have no clue. Anyway. The other thing I need to do is, as I said, create a medical area. So a medical area, where do we want to designate that? Do we want to create the medical area? It's not very sanitary to do it up there. It's clay loam. But it will also be convenient, because somewhere I want to have water. I guess I can just create a pond. You want water. It's the one time you can drink booze all day, every day. In fact, your dwarves want to drink booze all day, every day. They don't want anything else, really. They don't want water most of the time. But when a dwarf is sick and laid up in bed, they want water. I was thinking about piping it over from the river, but I think what we're going to do instead is just create a nice little medical zone down here. Siltstone tetrahedrite. Just a small little zone like that. Dig a channel there. The channel can become the channel can then become the pond. So we'll dig that out. We'll then smooth it. Okay, I'll designate this as a pond. We'll drink at a water zone. Pit pond. Designate the zone as the... No, I don't want to do that. I want to designate this top of a pond. And then they should bring buckets of water here until it is filled. We'll add some doors at the front. Let's add 2 bauxite doors, because nothing says, the patient's going to be thrilled to be here, like blood red doors. And then I'm not sure what the base zone is for... I think it's hospital. I think its meeting area becomes hospital. Yeah, new hospital, the Gilded House. We'll add 2 beds. Apple and oak. There can be chests for the patients to store their stuff. Cabinet in the corner. Steel sarcophagus claims as heirloom. I was going to give it to my mare, but alas, cannot do. What I really want is for people to come here with buckets before that water evaporates off. Also, there's a platinum nugget down there. Okay, so we now have 2 water. That's good. And once this is full, I'll designate it as a water source or build a well or whatever. But that should give a fresh supply of water. Orbok is injured and unconscious. Okay. Do I have a chief medical dwarf? I believe I do. Momuz. Is Momuz diagnosing at this point? No, you are storing item in bag. Let's put you on orderly's duty, see if that helps. Diagnosis required. Well, if people could go help Obok, that would be great. Okay, so we've got our hospital set up. Yeah, he's Obok's in not good shape. So what we did is we put up a well attraction bench. This is now a well-equipped small little hospital here. So you can see I've got a doctor, the chief medical dwarf doing diagnostics work, and the surgeon as the surgeon. This is all good. We need more splints and crutches. I'm producing those. And I have buckets. What I don't have is soap or powder. Neither of those are industries that I have set up, and I wasn't intending to set up for some time. So yeah, that's great. Let's smooth this place at least. Obok, I'm not sure about Obok in terms of his chances. He can get sutures and setting and all that sort of stuff. We'll make him some splints. He'll need surgery. What we desperately need is things like soap. Yeah. Alright, well I guess I can throw up a small temporary... I don't want to create a full soap making industry yet. I've just got the glass running now, producing a few items to test. I've got the sand collection happening. I'll need to use work orders in order to collect sand, make glass, collect sand, make glass, collect sand, make glass. Figure out a way to optimize that and make that work. The magma smelter is running full steam ahead, and as soon as we've got more steel blocks, I can magma forge again, which will be great. I'll get these bedrooms set up. I want the glass production is going to be really cool. The glass production means we can produce high value furniture, high value doors, all sorts of things that will help us improve things like the value of a nobleman's home. In the meantime, however, I think just spamming is the right way to go. The process of soap making southern soap making is something we'll talk about in detail next episode, but I'm just hacking it together for the moment to try and save that dwarf. We also had a human caravan arrive. We're cool with the humans, so we're going to sell them some finished goods. I think what I also want to maybe think about doing is having my jeweler's workshop encrust some finished goods with cut gems, just to increase some value on just a couple of items, because at the moment I've only got about 2,000 worth of stuff to sell to humans. Now, once we have metalworking and glassworking happening in earnest, things will improve dramatically, because we won't be getting 2,000 value worth of stone crap. We'll be getting quite a lot. We've slaughtered the puppies. Yes, the reason there are some animals that are currently being taken out behind the back is because we need materials for... We need materials for our soap maker's workshop. Which I believe requires us to render. There we are. We're currently rendering the fat. I don't think we need to fill the pond anymore. It's full. Oh, 4 of 7. Okay, so apparently the dwarves are going to need to like constantly maintain that water source. We might build a direct flow system from the... If we're going to have to do that, then a direct flow system from the from one of these pools might be a good idea, or even from the brook itself. I would probably have put the medical facility... If I knew they were going to actually drain the water, I would have put it somewhat closer to the water source, but... He needs sutures, he needs surgery, he's been evaluated, his wound has been cleaned. I don't think I need a chair next to the traction bench. What I don't understand is why he's on the floor rather than the bed. Like, that is a mystery to me. Because we've got a hospital, gilded house. So what do you have now? You've got splints, you've got powder, you've got buckets, you have everything except for soap. You've got all the staff that you possibly need. Beds in common area, tables, traction bench, chests. So you've got everything that you need to preferably look after this guy who needs setting, he needs dressing, he needs surgery. Like, why is he not getting everything that he needs? I do not understand why the medical dwarves assigned to him are not providing him critical care. This is probably something dumb that I'm doing. Is it because you've all got doctorly duty, so you should all be there. So what is Sigan doing right now? Sigan is rendering fat to make into soap. Okay, I'll pay it, but can you please go do some medical care soon? Like, please. There we are. I bet what's happening is they're trying to cook food using the fat. So we're going to have to temporarily... Actually, no, we can do that. We can do this. We can disable tallow from being used. Meat, fish, others, tallow cannot be cooked. There we are. That'll do the job. And that'll allow the soap maker to do the job. I'm going to have to repeat the process. I'll have to repeat the process with the kitchen. Kitchen. To also disable whatever other tallow we get created. This is a really pleasant look into what it takes to, run a soap industry in this sort of environment. Goat. I'm not seeing any other tallow. Alright, maybe it's just not on the agenda anyway. Anyway, we've got some soap manufacturing happening. We don't have enough buckets. Make some more buckets. Work orders. I want 6 additional buckets. And the broker is requested, so he'll move and trade with the humans in good time. We'll ask them what they think of the elves. See if they think they're uppity just like we do. Value is still 1,000, so we're throwing engravings down to see if we can push this up. If not, I'm also manufacturing additional furniture. Particularly, I've manufactured these additional glass tables, which should be good for value. And a glass throne. So start making things out of glass. Just a little bit nicer than stone by default in terms of value multiplier. I can't remember how much, but good for giving a little bit of a boost to the place. Because I just don't want the farmers to get pissed off at me. They want a 2,000 value guild hall, they're going to get a 2,000 value guild hall. Alright, we've got some soap being created. Fantastic. Send it down to the doctor's office. Thank you. Okay, so you've now got soap. You have everything you could possibly want. I have fully funded the healthcare system. Please do stuff. Please. To my unconscious dwarf. I mean, what do? Do I build a chair next to the traction bench? I'm going to look this up, because I really would like them to help. I feel like I've given them everything they need. Alright, I've disabled all their labors temporarily, so now this guy is getting surgery. Alright, so the doctors weren't, they weren't missing anything, they just didn't care. Or rather, they wanted to do other things instead, so... Now we're happening. Okay, so we've got hemp sutures, dog soap, sutures. So he's in a lot of pain, but he's now running out of things that he's now running out of things to complain about. Create some more soap. We can't create any more plaster powder. I think we've made enough splints. I might make 1 or 2 more just to be careful. There we are. Now, I would like the broker to go to the depot, thank you. I want to trade with these humans. Cool little human pikeman. What are you wearing? Iron. Humans don't roll around in much steel. Steel is basically a dwarven thing at this point. Okay, so we got trade. What do they got? They got meat, they got fish, they got plants, leaves, cheese. You just brought a shit ton of food. I have 880 food and 1,300 booze. This is a disappointment. Alright, so I think we're getting close to the point where I'm going to have to wind this up. I don't know what the recording time is, but we're close to our objectives. I built a second glass furnace here, and all it's going to do 24/7 is collect sand. Meanwhile, the actual furnace itself, we're going to find a glass maker who's not doing much else. There, a gelder. I think a gelder is not really a full-time job. So, Varbok here, and like I said, naming starts next episode. If you want a dwarf named after you, in the comments, thank you very much. Varbok is going to train up, and he's going to become an expert glass person, while the Magma forges run, and and we made some more gauntlets out of iron just to keep the mayor happy. So you see these decrees light up occasionally. Senior executive leadership in Dwarf World occasionally get the idea that something is urgent, needs to happen straight away, and the tasks are completely random. So, for example, the mayor said, you need to make gauntlets, so I made some gauntlets out of iron just to keep him happy. We can now finally create our squad. So we'll create our squad with the militia commander. We will give them metal armor. I'm not sure if there's a way to configure... Is there a way to configure... Objects, labor, places, tasks, creatures, noble administration, objects. I genuinely don't know. If someone knows how to adjust the uniform, that would be great. Let's change the squad symbol. The squad symbol... You know what? They're just going to be shields for the moment. Something like that. And then we'll view positions in the squad. So we'll assign position 2 to a proficient axe dwarf. Oh, we have a competent swords dwarf who is a stonecutter. Well, they may get retasked. In fact, we've got quite a few competent random... Interesting. I'm thinking Stukos here, who is a competent axe dwarf, might get drafted off. The woodworkers... Anyone who's useful doesn't go into the military straight away. But it does look like we've got some... There we are. There's a cheesemaker. There's a cheesemaker who is also an axe dwarf. So there we are. 3 dwarves initially. There's only going to be enough armor for 2 of them. I'm not going to rename them for the moment. Actually, you know what? They're the rapid response team. You know what? Don't judge me. These are the soggies. Alright, so we've got a bunch of recruits here. We're going to equip straight away. Assign uniform, metal armor. Let's see if they go pick that stuff up. Apparently they want shields. I haven't manufactured shields for them. We'll see if we have any spare. But this should do the job. Ah, here we are. I can create a new uniform. Fantastic. Okay. Well, we'll assign that for the moment. And we'll give them a training order. And then as soon as we manufacture a set of armor and a weapon for Ettin, he can join the squad. They can start training as well. Back to squads, routine, off-duty. They can train. Squad will train here. They will do everything except for sleep here. They will do everything except for sleep. They can sleep in their own rooms. So what that should do is means that when the dwarves are basically on time, there we are. See, he's now got his bunch of his equipment, and he should go when his duty starts. They'll come and they'll train here. So they'll teach each other more. They'll spar with each other. Here we are. So here's Axe Recruit, the militia commander, who I can fix up later. He's 20 years old. He has poor memory, but he values martial prowess. He resists sickness, which is why I figured he might be a decent fit for the role. Plus, he's a dabbling axe dwarf, disciplined fighter, dodger. And his specialties were fish cleaner and planter. I have enough planters. I'm limited by other things. Although I should get the planters out there and using some more seeds. I should check what seeds those are. So he's got his ordinary clothing, a steel battle axe, which he's multi-grasping because he doesn't currently have a shield, steel mail, steel helm, gauntlet, 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 greaves. The only thing I can't see is high boots. So if I look at footwear, I may not have made the high boots. That's okay. Armor, steel, high boot, armor, steel, high boot, armor, steel, high boot, armor, steel, high boot. I'm not sure if I have enough steel for all of that, but we'll see. It's already a lot of armor for people who do not have any background. What is this coating of? I'm not sure if it's sweat or whatever. Anyway, they're gonna need boots. So I'm gonna make them some boots, which I think fit with the greaves. I'm pretty sure. If not, I'll have to make low boots. Native platinum, you say? Ooh. So I was gonna dig some bedrooms out of these walls, but if there's platinum here. Because I was going to do something like this to extend to another area. We'll dig them out and we'll discover as much platinum as possible. These rooms may get sacrificed in the name of platinum. On the plus side, magnetite. Doesn't look like there's much native platinum. Looks like it's mostly magnetite. But platinum is very valuable. So if I ever want to take a break from steel to smelt together some platinum would be nice. I'm less excited about the citrine than I am about the platinum. So we'll collect the sand there. And what we'll do is we'll create a work order. No, we don't want sand. We want green glass. Do I want tables? I think I want tables and thrones. I want all the stuff. This is the thing. It's about prioritizing. It is about prioritizing. I'm going to start with thrones, and we'll make 10 of them, which will be tiring for the person doing the. Let's make 8. That's 2 sets of 4, which is my usual configuration, and then we'll go table in green glass as well. And then we'll go from there. So there we are. The expert glass person, well, slowly expanding expert glass person can get to work. This glass furnace can continually collect sand, which provides the sand for the magma glass furnace. This stockpile here can collect sand. And I'm pretty sure in that wood bin, I'm not sure where the sand is. It's saying that that's a coin stockpile. Coins are not what I'm after here. Let's just see if there's sand in any other category. Sandbags. That's what we wanted. We wanted sandbags. So hopefully he'll collect sand, he'll bring it here. The sand can then run the actual magma furnace. It doesn't take any fuel, obviously, to make sand, so life is good. Forging steel high boots, fantastic. Now, I'm not sure. Oh, yellow, I assume, means that they can get them and they will get them, but not immediately. Ban on certain exports. Okay, what am I not allowed to export? Maces. Well, I'm not going to export maces, so you're in luck, basically. This all needs to be smooth because my needy mare needs a fancier room than this. So we're going to smooth that out, enhance it, larger room. I keep the whiny bastard happy, basically. Keep the living quarters available and on hand. And yes, someone down here does get to live. Someone down here might get to live in a bit of a borderline noble's room. Because I want the platinum, even if it means fewer bedrooms, basically. But there we are. So we've got functional military dwarfs training. Wow, we got miasma. That's what happens when you have refuse that you can't dump, or that your dwarves aren't dumping. Are we out of room in our refuse stockpile outside? We're not. We are not out. I'm going to enable all refuse. Because at the moment, I do not like the idea that we've got miasma spreading near my butcher's shop. So how about you all grab whatever is causing that miasma and get it the hell out. I'm guessing it's this rotten stuff. Alright, so as I was saying, semi-victorious. We have our first military squad. We're going to have 3 steel-equipped dwarves soon. I want to get that squad a little bit larger. 5 sounds like a good number to start with. 10% of the fortress in the military. About right. This guild hall's almost at its target value, which is good. Just need to put a few more chairs in once the glass ones are finished, which is all good. So that'll make all the dwarves there happier, and hopefully get the farmers off my back. The humans are happy. The mayor I can keep happy. And most importantly, this episode, we got magma production running. So we've got glass operating, magma smelter, and we have our magma forge. All of this will work together in order to get the metal side and the glass side of our industry going. It's not huge. It's like a couple of dwarves. Like 10% of the workforce total would be included in this, which is not enough. But we've got others doing masonry, and we've got others doing planting, so I will optimize a little bit before next episode starts, but I think we're in a good position. We expanded our wall. Our wall is 2 tiers all around, so our security is in place. We've got a couple of troops, got some more animals. I feel like we're doing well, which means our next goal, obviously we're going to expand the military and keep growing the economy and all of that, but the next step is going to be when the elves return next season, or rather before the elves return next season, we need a nice welcome ready for them. Lots of lovely wooden walls and structures, just so they can see how industrious we can be with the benefit of timber, and we'll see how it goes from there. I mean, the other thing we can think about doing is eventually heading out and, having a look for resources at some of those other sites. But first, let's just do a good, honest thing. Let's lay out the welcome mat for our elven friends and see, oh, geez. Well, next episode, we're also going to house some migrants. Well, it turns out the first major threat to the fortress isn't actually the elves. After all, their diplomats haven't come back, but instead this 375-year-old Ettin. It's a 2-headed giant with a variety of combat skills that has come to basically mess our stuff up. So, will our fort be able to defend itself against it? What is my grand plan for dealing with our first mega beast, which is capable of destroying buildings with its bare hands? Well, you're going to have to tune in next time. See you all in the next episode of Dwarf Fortress.